Time for 7 First Alert weather.
So I've got some good news for you. The low clouds and the foggy conditions that we've been seeing, we're going to see those lessen as we go into tomorrow morning. So we may see less of that fog and low clouds and more sunshine. So we are expecting a little bit more sunshine today ahead of some changes that are on the way for us. You can see it's not going to be a lot warmer. You can see we expect to warm up to about 36 degrees, the high for Boise. That's what we're expecting. However, the caveat with the sunshine is that we're expecting some light winds with that as well. So with temperatures in the 20s, that's just going to cut through any layers you have. It's going to make it feel even colder, even with that sunshine. Sunshine doesn't hurt though, right? So we will expect to warm up into around the mid 30s around valley locations tomorrow, and that's ahead of some changes on the way. So we won't be seeing those changes immediately tomorrow. It's going to be a late night event. So I'm going to explain now how we expect some of that to play out. So here's our current upper air setup. We have a high pressure that's in place, and that's part of the reason why we've seen such stable conditions. So that high pressure moves on out, and then we see a low pressure drop in, and that's going to move into our area late Thursday and in the overnight hours on Friday. So this low pressure is going to pump moisture into our area, and because temperatures are going to be cold, we're talking about snow at all elevations with this event. So it's going to be in two separate rounds. First, we'll start out late Thursday night into Friday morning. We'll start off with a very early morning snow. Then it continues into Friday night, and this is all for valley locations. Continues Friday night, and it should clear around the evening commute time. And then we get another round by Saturday morning. It's going to start again in the early morning hours. And then we see that continue, and temperatures are expected to warm as we go into Saturday, so we see some rain mix in there as well. So these are two different rounds that we'll be seeing, and in both cases you could be waking up to some changes. So I kind of want to point them out separately. So here's how our model data shows that moisture moving into our area. You can see again, late 9 hours of Thursday, that moisture is going to work its way into the area. It starts out as snow. That's the first round that we'll see. Now the second round, starting very early on Saturday, you can see all the while mainly snow. It's going to be snow for those mountain locations. And then we start to see some of that mixing as we go into late Saturday. And then we see the snow continue as we go into Sunday. So as far as totals go, in both of the rounds for the valleys, we could be seeing 1 to 3 inches. It's not going to be heavily favored in all valley locations. So we could see some disparity with some of those totals. But here's what we're looking at as a broad idea for some of the snow totals. Definitely a great pack for some of the snow in mountain locations, and we're going to expect that to continue in several rounds as we go into next week too. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves and just keep it going one day at a time. As I mentioned, those temperatures are certainly staying on the cold side as we go into tomorrow. You can see 20s expected for those mountain locations before the snow starts to come in, and for valley locations, we're talking on around the mid 30 range for some of those valley locations. 36 the expected high for Boise tomorrow. So again, for tomorrow, we're not starting out with snow right away. That's not the overnight change. We're going to start out with that wind tomorrow. Then the snow goes, and then the snow moves in the evening. And then we see lots of that snowy pattern continue. And then also towards the end of that week, we're seeing temperatures in the 20s. And if you're wondering when we can start to see maybe not so below average temperatures, I got to tell you, it's going to be a while because we're expecting 20s tomorrow. And Doug and Morgan, this is the extended outlook, and that shows even more chances of below average temperatures.
Teens, lows in the teens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
well, you know, it's going to be snowy maybe for 7 Cares Idaho Shares on Saturday, but that kind of makes it a little more festive.
Makes it more festive.
Absolutely.
And we want people to come out, so just bundle up. Now that they see your forecast, they know what they can expect, Sophia.
Yep.
And we can just take it from your car for you,
Yes,
too. So
you can. You don't even have to
get out.
Stay warm.